Mr. James, let me comment on what a fine business partner you are. Let's work on this together. Now that, ladies and gentlemen, is not me. That was my lady boss, Miss Chong. And that deal would bring in 1.4 million ringgit to the company. Wow! What an amazing news, right? But there was only one problem. I don't actually own the company. That deal would bring in long working hours, thousands of phone calls every day. Why does this have to always happen to me? Why me? Fellow Toastmasters and friends, have you ever asked yourself that question? Why me? Yeah, all the married couples. Next morning, it was the usual sound of the cleaner vacuuming the floor. And that could only mean one thing. You are damn early at work. So I boot up my computer and I sat. Then came my first nightmare. Kring! The phone rang. The nasty secretary of Mr. James. What? You want the report by today? In my mind, I thought to myself, why me? I dragged my lazy fingers across the keyboard and I started working. At 1:30 p.m., Subway sandwich, working. At 3:30 p.m., phone, working. At 12:10 a.m., click, email sent. I felt tired, restless, hungry. I dragged my feet as I walked the walkway to my car. From a distance, I could see my white Ford Fiesta under the dim blinking light. It was the only car in the whole parking space. My car battery died. Why me? Anyone? 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 Help! 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 Why me? Me? Then came a man, curly hair, white shirt, with a name tag that says Z-A-M. Zam. He was the parking attendant, Mr. Zam. He came with his red beat-up Proton Saga. He took out a toolbox and he began checking and replacing the battery. I had a conversation with Mr. Zam and I found something very interesting. Every morning I see Mr. Zam, but I didn't know that Mr. Zam used to own a car workshop in Pangni. And because he was cheated, he had to close down. And just last year, his wife passed away due to an accident. Imagine what he had to go through supporting 6 children. And I can't help to ask him what made him go through all this adversity. And Mr. Zam said, listen, I used to be very negative about my life. But then I realized, the more I focus on my problem gets bigger and bigger. And when I focus on what I'm grateful for, which is my children, the problems went away. Whoa, that's a profound message. I thank Mr. Zam and I drove home. The dashboard reads 1:35 a.m. I had to wake up 5:30 a.m. the next day. How can I survive a long day? Before I could say the two words, I was reminded by Mr. Zam's story. If I focus on my problem, it gets bigger and bigger. But if I focus at what I'm grateful for, the problem will go away. At that moment, I focus on what I'm grateful for, which is Mr. Zam. Mr. Zam's kind deed allowed me to reach home safely. And not having enough rest doesn't feel like a problem anymore. The next day, I went to Miss Chong, my boss, and I thanked her for this great opportunity. And things got better. It wasn't a problem after all. And when a nasty secretary called me, she scolded me for 5 minutes. But I still said, "Thank you for updating me. Have a great day." The next day, she scolded me only for 1 minute. She became nicer. It wasn't a problem after all. No, we all have our own set of problems. Life sometimes can be cruel. But always remember, the more focus you put into your problem, it gets bigger and bigger. To the extent that your mind becomes numb. But if you look at what you already have, it could be a progress, it could be people behind you supporting you, then you will realize that that problem will go away. Remember this. If you focus on your problem, it gets. But if you focus on what you are grateful for, the problem
goes away.